I am so excited because today I have on the show the beautiful Carmit Bachar, former Pussycat Doll, and now mom and creator of the brand Doll to Dame. So I will be talking to her, as I do on my mommy interviews, about what she loves and who she loves. I'm Sara Haley, and as a busy mom of two, I'm constantly trying to balance what I love, my careers, passions, and interests, with who I love, my friends and family. Here are some of my tips and tricks for keeping life healthy, fit, and fun while trying to balance it all. Okay, so you have a brand now called Doll to Dame. Can you talk to me a little bit about where the concept came from? I can take a couple guesses, but maybe if you break it down for my viewers, especially if maybe they're not as familiar with Pussycat Dolls as some of us are.
Well, yeah, obviously most people know me from the Pussycat Dolls, but I was also sort of in the entertainment business before, and people know me as Doll, as a Pussycat Doll, so I use Doll, and now I'm, next level. I'm a mom. I'm kind of like turned that page, so I'm a Dame, so it's Doll to Dame. And
I love it.
It's about female empowerment, sort of on the same lines of what I've always been about and pushing forth is, women being authentic, true to themselves, and having a voice.
Can you give me a little history of the Pussycat Dolls? Because even some of the stuff you shared with me earlier today, I didn't know about kind of the transformation of the group, and especially you.
Yeah, I started obviously as a freelance dancer. I was doing a lot of jobs choreographing as well, and the Pussycat Dolls was something I did with my friends on the side. We were doing it at the Viper Room, and we were even doing the show before it was called the Pussycat Dolls, and it sort of morphed into that, and Johnny Depp loved it and saw us and put us as like the home.
And was it always singing and dancing? It was always both?
Nope,
no,
it was just dancing. It was a burlesque group, and it was mostly professional dancers, so we were all friends in the business, and there was no money involved. It was just fun.
And what, again, for those of us who maybe aren't as familiar, the definition of burlesque?
Yeah, I think most people, when they think of burlesque, is like nudity or pasties or whatever. We never did that. We mostly did costumes, really fun vintage pieces that we like bedazzled, and it was like corsets with like old school 50s bras and like the ruffled garters and fishnets. Yeah, and any kind of stripping would be from one layer to the next. It would not be a strip of like naked. It'd be like one corset, a black corset to a white corset. And I did that group for 8 years until I actually was choreographing for No Doubt at the time, and I met Gwen Stefani. She's a super
Wait, back up. You said you were choreographing for No Doubt.
Yes. Yeah. And she was a super cool girl, and we clicked right away. And I always told her about the dolls. I said, look, if you ever want to do it, we always have celebrity guests come in, and we'd love to have you. And finally, after months, she came down and she saw the show. She's like, oh my God, I'm jealous. I want to do it. I love it. So when she did the show as a guest, it was sort of like, she's like the quintessential Pussycat Doll because she's like old and new. The CEO of Interscope, which is who No Doubt signed to, saw her in the show and saw the Pussycat Dolls as a concept and loved it and decided that he would move forward with it. So the group reformed, and I'm pretty much the only original girl from like back in the day that moved into the recording group, and that was just like the next chapter of the Dolls. It was like another level. It was, who knew it was going to be a global phenomenon? It's just like a dream come true, really.
So when did you decide to become a mom? Or what was there a moment? Or maybe there wasn't a moment. Maybe it just happened. But I know for me there was like this transition of trying to get my grip on like, did I really want to go there? Mm-hmm. Did that happen for you, or did
No.
How did that happen?
It actually didn't. My fiancé.
Did it happen for you?
Yeah, he was ready years before, and I think I was so goal and career oriented that I just was like, okay, in 2 years, okay, in 2 years, and then I was pregnant, and that just made the decision for me. And I think I freaked out for a moment, and then it was just the most amazing, beautiful gift, and the perfect timing, and the way that it happened was obviously the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. Anything that you ever thought or could remember, like we laugh about it, it's like we call it pre-baby, because I can't even remember what the hell we were doing pre-baby.
No, but it is hard, I think, when you're in the entertainment career, whatever part of that industry, or any industry where you really love what you do, is, for me too, it's like, well, there's always going to be one more thing.
Always.
Always.
It never stops. And it's you know, and then we also know, you know, when you step off the train, it keeps going. So you're either running with it or you're not.
Well, and you've made your brand work for you.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And it feels good. It feels right for me.
So what's coming with Doll today?
Well, recently I've started my vlog, #PussyPower. And again, it's just having a voice for women and empowering women and kind of bringing to the forefront, you know, what we all have to contribute, which is substance and gravity. And speaking along the lines, there's this whole new movement with all the actresses, #AskHerMore, you know, which they're talking about, ask them more questions that are of substance, not just what am I wearing, put your hand in the mannequin, you know, the whole nine. So it's just been, I think overall it's a network of women kind of we're coming up and having our voices heard, and it's exciting.
Well, because we're not just a doll.
Right, we're a team.
And then you have the charity that you work with, Operation Smile. Can you tell my viewers a little bit about that?
Well, I'm an ambassador to Operation Smile, which I've been for, God, I don't know how many years now. And that's an honor just to have a voice for this organization that's been doing cleft lip and cleft palate repairs for over 27, 8 years, something like that. And I've gone on to a mission in Bolivia. And it's pretty profound. It's life-changing, and this is, you know, something that is near and dear to me because I myself was born with cleft lip and cleft palate. So just to be able to somehow give back and be a part of that is great. I in turn created something called Project Smile With Me. That is sort of my version of embellishing on my ambassadorship, which is creating you know, self-esteem and inspiring kids through arts, which is how I got to be where I am. So when I went to Bolivia, I took a team of people, and we had art projects, and I had ribbons, and we were making booklets, and my mom came, and we were doing, like, mothers were doing projects, and this is all while the kids are being screened for, like, hours and hours sitting there, and they're all nervous, and it just made the place much lighter and brighter and not so stressful. And I was also able to go through the surgeries, walk through walk through all the operations and see how they were doing. It was very cathartic for me. I got to hold the kids pre and post-op. I mean, I had a mother asking me if I would be her, you know, godmother to her child, and it was pretty profound and amazing. And I definitely love being able to be a part of that. I haven't done as much work as I'd like to recently. I've been busy with my own child, but I definitely want to get back to it. So.
What was it like growing up with the cleft lip? Did people ever say anything, or how did you deal with that?
I think everybody has something that makes them feel different or not pretty or self-conscious. Yeah, whatever it is, there's something. And for me, it was just like right there on my face. And there's different degrees of cleft lip and cleft palate. And I mean, I had a surgery probably almost every year of my life till I was about 16. And so I grew up in and out of the hospital. And the one thing that kept me sane and happy is dancing and singing, and, you know, I was an Annie when I was 7, and, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely was engulfed in the arts, so I wasn't focused on what the kids were saying. I definitely had a lot of ridicule, and that was hard growing up.
Is your fiance, is he in the business too?
He is. We met dancing on tour for Ricky Martin.
No way!
I was the Vita Loca girl. I popped out of the trunk and shook my butt, which I would never in a million years do.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could see that.
And he was a dancer on the tour, and 15 years later, we're still together. We always laugh. We're like, it's just a tour thing, but yeah.
Yeah. What does he do now?
Now he's an editor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all keeping in the industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, you do what you love.
Yes. Thankfully, I feel grateful that we've been able to continue doing what we love, you know.
So let's talk a little bit about that transition into motherhood, which I think is so hard for all of us. Were there any like huge shockers for you in your kind of postpartum journey? Definitely, you know, your entire life, especially being in the industry, is self-centered. Period. Yeah. You know, it's a little narcissistic. I mean, in general, we grow up worrying about ourselves, or people say, worry about yourself, and you do. You take care of yourself to be the best person you can. But when you're in the industry, it's always like about image, it's about all these things. Yeah. And then when you get pregnant, you're like, oh my God, it's never going to be about me again. And so you release that, you surrender to it, and I think that
it was beautiful. The pregnancy was fun and, hard and fun and all those things. And then when I had her, and you're exhausted and you're like so tired, and I ended up having 24 hours of labor and then a C-section, emergency C, and being a dancer, being cut in your core and the whole thing was really traumatic for me. And then, I had a hard time nursing.
I think everything about postpartum is difficult. I think postpartum, or I shouldn't say postpartum, I should say your postnatal journey, really.
Yeah.
Everything about that is almost to me more challenging than your pregnancy.
Yeah.
When you're pregnant, you get it. You're like, I'm carrying this child. It's in me. I see it.
Yeah.
This is happening. And then you get done, or you have your baby, I should say, and it's out of you, and you're like, I should be done. Like, this should be it. Like, I should be able to move on now. And you can't.
No.
You can't. It's hard physically. It's hard emotionally.
Yeah.
And then especially when it's your first child and you're just trying to figure it all out. I will say that's been the only blessing about having a second baby is you're like you know that the light's at the end of the tunnel. You know
Totally.
that the end will eventually be there.
Yep.
And it is a shorter period of time. But that first time around, I mean, it's
rough.
It's rough. And how do you feel now? Do you feel, that's what I think is so hard about being a dancer or an athlete or any kind of physical job before you have a child is that your body is like your selling point, it's your mechanism, it's everything.
Yes.
And just because of what you do, it ends up looking a certain way.
Totally.
And then you have a baby, everything changes, and you may or may not go back to what you were doing, and so now you're in this kind of new body. So how does that work?
I still have to let go of a lot of clothes that I know I will never wear.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm never going to wear anything that's midriff or whatever, just tight, really. But I think I'm getting to a place where I'm accepting what it is, and it's the next chapter of everything. And I think, I have to work super, super hard on my core. Like I do a lot of Pilates because that was the main disconnect that I was freaked out about, like after I had a C-section.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of working harder now.
And finding the time. I think that's what we have to remind ourselves, too, as athletes and dancers and just people who, loved to work out and move a lot before you had kids. It's like you did that whenever you wanted, however long you wanted.
Yes.
Like that was your job to literally do that all day long.
And your body can sustain that, too.
Yeah.
Like now, it's like if I take 2 classes, I'm like, I'm done, I'm so tired, but I know that...
Well, because you're coming home to a person who needs you.
Right.
In a very physical way.
Yes.
So I think that's what we have to remind ourselves is my body was meant to do something then,
and
now it's meant right? Woo. It's not the same now. My body's meant to nurse and to feed a baby, and then when I'm done with that, it's never going to be what I was doing before.
Yeah.
So my son Landon has joined us. So Landon wanted to sit next to Carmit, so we had to do a little transition here. So Carmit, I know as an entrepreneur, I often have to work from home. I'm assuming that you have the same situation sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to balance the elements here. Landon is now in the interview, but how do you balance that at home?
It can be kind of comical because literally my fiance and I will be at the computer like trying to get work done, and she's like, "Can you play with us?" And sometimes, or play with me, and sometimes we're like, "We can't," and sometimes you're like, "Yes," and we just drop everything and go play. So it is hard to get like a consistent block of time to like work without interruption, but it's fun, right?
I know. I think everybody wants what they can't have, right? Like there's moments where I'm like, I wish I had a 9 to 5 and I could just like go and be out of it and then come back and be in it, opposed to like.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Kitty. Hi, Kitty.
Can we what?
I said.
Oh, do a family snuggle with Carmit? Let's give her a big hug.
Oh, I want to
Right? Maybe we'll do this for our closing.
Yay.
We can say thank you, Carmit, for being on the show. Carmit, I can't thank you enough for being here. Please, please follow her on social media at doll2dame, and that's a number 2.
Yes.
But
Doll.
you'll see it on the screen here.
Yes.
And on her website, doll2dame. And please, if you have any questions for her or for me, put them in the comment section below. I'm at sarahaley.com, and please subscribe to the channel so that you can check out more moms doing what they love.
Why you gotta
marry
be
her
so
anyway.
rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry you anyways. That's my daughter loves that. She goes, marry that girl, marry you anyway, marry that girl, marry you anyway. Yeah.